probably didn't expect to have a lecture with the ukulele today, but don't worry, just for the sake of time and examples, we'll do a little bit of singing, a little bit of music today, and a little bit of explanation, well, a lot of explanation about what my capstone was about. So I was in your guys' place 2 years ago, fall of 2023. I was in this class, and I kind of knew I already wanted to do the capstone already, so I was like planning for it in my credits. I feel a little bit guilty that you were talking about mental health and 24 credits when the spring semester I did this capstone, I had 21 credits. I did balance it out though. Some of those were, it was like this class and then some ESSF classes, so a little bit of like body movement and golf half semester ones. So there was balance with all of the different academic responsibilities too. But my name is Jasmine, like it has on the slide. And these slides have been revisited. I've presented my capstone a couple of times. Originally when I did the capstone, you're not required to like come into the classes and present, by the way, if you do the capstone. So if that's your fear, you're like, I can't come back to this class and like report, that's not what's required.
Fully voluntary, no one, I will not hold your feet to the fire on that.
Yeah, very voluntary, and then like I've come back multiple times. And it's been really cool because I've been able to add some of the things I've learned with more time and with additional time at the SAMI Center. So you guys know about the SAMI Center, and Maria has explained a lot. And since some of you had like the question, like do you need to know what you're doing before you go reach out to Maria? No, you don't. And Maria is great that because the whole entire like mission of the SAMI Center is helping children where they're at, she's totally game to help take your talents, your passions, and whatever disciplines you're looking into and applying it to the SAMI Center. They have lots of great things coming and they're growing to. They have an infant room that they're opening up to, as well as having that like preschool setting. So when I went in, I had reached out after she had come and presented in this class. I emailed her, I set up a time to interview, and then she's like, okay, well, do you have time to have us observe you while you play with the children? I did not have time that day. So I set up a time the next week, and I'm like, crap, what do I want to do with the kids? And while I was talking with Maria, I realized, as I was talking, I was like, hey, I'm a musician. Can I sing with the kids? I've done a lot of things with music and with children, and throughout my undergrad experience, I kind of tailored some assignments when I could to involve a little bit more kind of music therapy stuff or children and music, just because it was something that I enjoyed and because we know that part of what the SAMI Center does to help children heal is to play, to help get them out of this fight or flight response and to help them like reach who they reach their teachers and reach their peers with connection, and that connection I wanted to do through music. But some of the responsibilities that we ended up brainstorming for me were planning and presenting multicultural musical activities, utilizing therapeutic music strategies as a coping skill and a co- or self-regulation tool. I have a lot of cool stories with that because, like was kind of mentioned before, when you're at the SAMI Center, you are there with the children. You are there, you are it. They will sit on you, they will play with you, they will play with your hair. If you are a guy and they are a little guy, they will just instantly just mob you because they just want to be with their buddies, and you will be their safe place. But that was part of the plan I had going in, and because they had music, because it was a preschool setting, we were trying to adapt what would it look like to implement this more like purposeful music strategy as a co-regulation technique. So going through some of the different like research that I was looking at, and also knowing the importance of rituals and having consistency in like routines. We started off by implementing a musical tune of a welcome song to help with transitions, name repetition, and the affirmation that teachers are happy you're here. And part of that was me like going a little bit into interdisciplinary by kind of looking at what are different songs like speech language pathologists use, what do other preschools use, and that. So I kind of modified a different song, and also adjusting for the attention span of the specific kids. We ended up like shortening the song from repeating the name twice to repeating it once. But the first time I did it with the kids was in my initial observation with Maria, like looking at me like, okay, can you be with the kids? Can you play with them? Let's see how you are with kids. And I'm very nervous playing the ukulele and trying to sing with them and teach them a new song. And like later on in my internship, I started using things like little shaker eggs to help the kids to help go along. Anyone feel musical today? Need a little bit? No?
Start over here, baby.
Okay. Anyone else?
Not musical. Oh, come on, you guys. You
Yeah,
can do it.
yeah. Yay. So you go with it. Everybody else, you can clap along, but basic. So it's like, so if you want to clap along, you clap along, or you can shake legs along. But to go teach you guys, I actually haven't sung this song in like a year. So my brain's like half processing what it is. Hello, I'm Jasmine, I'm Aspen. Hello, I'm Jasmine, I'm Aspen. And then you would go around the class. So I can see your guys' names. So I'll do a couple
This was a trick.
But if we were all like a little bit stiff or maybe a little bit nervous like I am, I would start off with the kids. And you are welcome and invited to sing this note with me. If not, it's okay, but just so you know, if you are gonna sing, you're humming, you're stimulating your vagus nerve. So if you were like feeling a little bit tired or need a little bit of extra like oxytocin or just need to feel a little bit more alive, we're just gonna sing a note. I think I'm gonna go with this note. So go, ah, maybe, 1, 2, 3. Ah, and then when I lift my arm up, go a little bit like louder, and when I go lift my arm down, go a little bit softer. So we're gonna start off with this medium. Good job! You're practicing your impulse control and also your like breathing, and then a little bit of getting out of your head. A little bit playing, so thank you for playing with me. Now, are we all warmed up to do a welcome song? Yes. I would explain it a little bit more like steps in depth with like the children too, but I feel like you guys are pretty smart, especially in this class. So I think you got it. And we're gonna go, let's see, we have Ilsa, Cami, and Kayla, right?
Got it.
3 names. Everybody got it? So I'm Jasmine, and then I'm gonna kind of like gesture and point. One of the things if you become a singing preschool teacher is you get really good at multitasking, breaking up fights with the ukulele on your back, cuddling kids with ukulele, even having them on your lap while you're like leading group time, like kind of in this situation and doing that. But we got that. So where are my shakers? Hello, I'm Jasmine, I'm happy I'm here. Hello, I'm Jasmine, I'm happy I'm here. Next, hello to Ilsa. Hello to Ilsa, we're happy you're here. Thank you. Hello to Ilsa, we're happy you're here. Next is Cami. Hello to Cami, we're happy you're here. Hello to Cami, we're happy you're here. Next is Kayla. And what? Don't worry, you're almost over. Hello to Kayla, we're happy you're here. Hello to Kayla, we're happy you're here. There you go. See? So we're gonna shorten it because we'd end up with 15 kids and that too. So now you guys are now part of a ritual. If you want to talk about adding it to the rest of the semester, or if you want to like get your brains used or the cheese balls, you can do that. they're fun. So we're happy you're here. Hopefully you're happy you're here too. But modeling, humming, and singing was a coping skill as well. And improvised musical play using simple rhythms, chanting, and singing. So they had like, so the songs that they're already singing at the Sammy Center, we implemented into like my therapeutic music practice as well. So instead of just being stuck to an iPod, it was stuck to their teacher. So we could bring songs throughout the classroom or adapt it as needed. Let's see. I know you guys are definitely more awake now. Okay, but going in there, I first wanted to learn about the Sammy Center culture, and with that, like taking the great things they do there and taking my skills in learning and just implementing it. One of the great things that I love about music and playing and modeling music and playing is that there's a lot of graceful mistakes. You can see I made mistakes just then, like playing, even though I do know how to play. Sometimes when you get a little bit nervous or when you're trying to think of how you're going to present things, doesn't go over super smooth, but that's the great part about being Cuban, is that it doesn't have to be smooth. It's if you're making these connections, and if you are helping like engage a person. Like it's not AI. The AI can do what we just did now. I don't know why I added that rant. But observing and narrating, playing with familiar melodies and improvisation, and that was going back to more of like the research. So it's like showing the child like, hey, I see what you're doing. It's not like a criticism or anything. I'm playing with you. I'm seeing how you play. I also want to play with this. So if you are just playing with your trains, I can like make up a song with it. And so I'd make up different songs with it, or like, let's see, who else can I pick on? So like if I was just outside in their like yard area and the kids were like kind of wanting to play, we could do like, where is me? Or like playing. So integrating like names and the activities they were doing. So kind of the steps I did when I was like brainstorming what I was gonna do, was taking the talent I already had and researching things I'd already had been exposed to, and kind of being like, hey, I want to do this, Maria, how can we make it work? And she was so great at supporting me and helping me even get connected with actual like board certified music therapists to work with a little bit during my internship and learning a little bit about them. Throughout the internship, Maria told me to just sing and play music whenever possible. So I did that, and it was a lot of fun. And basically some of the surprises that happened were the other teachers showed great like concern for my instrument, especially since we were thinking of some of the children at the Sammy Center, and maybe sometimes low impulse control, and like it's a musical instrument. It seems like, hey, this is fun. You'd be getting like strummed like all the time, but very rarely did the kids like touch my instrument. There's a couple like rules and a great culture at the Sammy Center where we kind of like teach or touch, and like the majority of the time my instrument was fine. But some of the challenges that were kind of unexpected with this internship was that working in a preschool environment, I would get every version of the flu or the cold every like 1 to 2 weeks. And again, like I just mentioned, I was kind of taking 21 credits at the time and doing lots of other stuff, so I was pretty sick throughout the semester. But it's actually pretty typical for first year teachers, but it was a challenge with all the different things going on. But working through that challenge, I let Dr. Ilsa know a lot about it, and I kept notes of my experiences along the way as I was doing it.
Oh yeah, and maybe I can add that so typically in this class, the Capstone class, if you have just an illness, like a cold, typically you still have to catch up your hours. But if it's something that is really, pretty long or severe, or you break your leg or whatever, then I can waive some of those hours. So, I just forgot to note that, but there's a little bit of leeway with that. But it's also something that many of my students have experienced, is getting sick. Yeah.
Yep. I think I was able to make up like a lot of hours too, but it was more of like you feel like I'm doing everything, and then I keep getting sick. So that was one of the challenges there. But some of the results throughout the months I was there at the Sammy Center were that the children developed a greater love for music and were able to improve musical self-expression and connect with others. So they'd be more singing in the classroom. I'd be in one end of the classroom singing with another student or playing with another student, and I'd be singing, and then you'd hear little songs like across the classroom, and it was just a way to connect and like have everybody, even though we're in this big group space, like, oh, we're all singing the same songs and we're all here together, and the parents supported more singing from the children at their home. So that top 40 hit that you guys just sang with me, that was being sung at their homes too, and it's been a little unique, so we know at least it wasn't taught by like Miss Rachel or anything that you're listening to at home. And the teachers noticed a difference in children and recognized that some of the neurodivergent children were responsive to music play, especially children like with ASD. They were the ones that particularly would like seek me out during the times I was there. I was usually there Tuesday, Thursday mornings to get a little bit of music time with them. And as a result of my internship, more therapeutic music techniques were able to be utilized in the classroom. It's connected me with wonderful mentors and teachers. And I'm skipping over some of the things just so that way I can be a little bit brief and leave room for questions. But like in January, the children learned the welcome song and began to get the hang of the song and routine because we were just implementing some of this. My responsibilities grew as I was at the Sammy Center, and we grew from like starting with a few songs and activities to be taking over the music time when I was there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. In February, we were encouraged to implement music whenever possible and lots of one-on-one time with the kids. And then the breath work was added later on, like breath work, awareness, dynamics. I did a little bit of baby music theory just because I'm a nerd, and I think it's really cool to learn that. But if you start to learn like, oh, what I really, really love is forte in that, so we can like kind of pair with the things that we were already learning with, like different body awareness and impulse control, like, oh, using a lion voice versus a mouse voice, like, oh, let's do it when we're singing too. And we adapted the songs to the growing needs of the children. And then I actually got to stay at the Sammy Center after my capstone project, and so these are some more long-term results as I changed. And I'll explain a little bit more about the difference between doing infant and early childhood mental health capstone project versus doing a general FCS internship, because I did both because I wanted to stay on the Sammy Center, and also like I just wanted to continue with my work there but still get academic credit, which was great. But some of the long-term results that would go by the month was that in May, the music was still a favorite among certain children, even as the novelty of singing teacher wore off. So it was really cool at first. And then they're like, oh, you're here. We can like use you. And then there are different ways that I would try to like still bring music. So either outside with like different shaker eggs or something like, or things like that. Or even like being more mindful of when seeing a child is dysregulated, if they had some sort of comfort song, singing that along with them. And I got to see a lot of really like really positive results, especially with one particular child. She had high reactivity and was one that other teachers could struggle with, and I only got bit once at the Sammy Center in 7 months. That wasn't from her, that was from another child, and it wasn't, and I know he wasn't, I know he was doing it out of pure like dysregulation too, and it wasn't even, like he didn't draw blood or anything. It's preschool. But with her, she would get very physical, but she loved singing, and so I think we ended up singing, was it Row Over Row Your Boat, or it was something very simple too, but as she was like hot, and she would be more of like a screamer too, so kind of channeling like the, hey, you want to make noise, but singing with her, and something just switched instantly, and so she went from like high reactivity, being kind of more of a danger that the other teachers would try to get other children away from her just in case things were gonna happen, to instantly like connecting and being in a space of co-regulation with me. Did it work every single time? Not as magically, but that first time it was so magical. It was like, man, everybody needs a ukulele. Doing so, there are more therapeutic musical activities, and so I was starting to like lead time. And with this particular like FCS one, Maria and I talked about it, and we added on a little bit more staff training role and a little bit more admin role to my internship, which is more possible with like an FCS one because I wasn't as worried about the reflective practice, but I do value the reflective practice a lot because they're two different internships in a way, but similar similar situations and similar like implementation of clinical skills. And then the morning routine was actually changed to a more open format, and the welcome song was more of a meet and greet format without forced participation because adapting to the needs of the children as they grew and as they were going throughout the year, that like structure that we had before we had to change, and so the way I implemented therapeutic music strategies in the classroom changed. And then I actually emailed Maria, and I feel really bad because I sent the slide before I fixed this because I did it real quick, so I know how to spell Maria's name. But I asked Maria if she's seen any results because it's been 15 months since I've been at the SAMI Center, and I was there around 7 or 8 months. But so since my internship, the music continues to be an important part of their daily rhythm, and other interns now intentionally incorporate music into the classroom. One of their teachers plays the ukulele now, and they also have community partners that come in regularly to do music sessions with the children, also by playing the guitar. They've especially noticed that children with an ASD diagnosis thrive with consistent musical experiences throughout their day. It helps them regulate, connect, and stay engaged. And it was really sweet that she said that the work inspired the ongoing practice and that they continue to see the benefits. So just know that if you're just have this random idea like, hey, can we implement this? It might span like longer and farther than you can imagine. But there are many different therapeutic techniques that can prove effective in early childhood settings to help children grow and develop social and emotional coping skills. Being in an environment that prioritizes the needs of children in empirically researched, individualized, and empathic ways supports the teachings that you learn in this class and in the Infinite Early Childhood Mental Health Program. So you guys are so needed, and your different talents are so needed. And I know I have a lot in this presentation. I just made you sing with me, but here's a big reflection. You don't have to be extra to be effective. Like, you don't have to make it this big, long thing or end up singing or presenting to these things. You saw like what Dr. Filsa had. There are these brochures that are so important. It's important to get the information out there. Your different talents or what you can do within your bandwidth for this capstone is just as important, whether or not you expand it on a longer term or try to do your best with the semester for it. So kind of the differences that I've already talked about was that with the capstone, it's more of a relationship focus and education in the infant and early childhood mental health field. We have awesome professors, and it's research to build upon. And you're probably already most of the way there if you're thinking about the infant and early childhood mental health certificate. So I have that added to my CV, got it with it. But I was also, I have my bachelor's in psychology with a minor in human development and family studies. So I really double dipped on so many classes, and so it was just kind of like a natural thing to go with. And then with the FCS internship, it was a little bit more job and career focused for after graduation. They have you do some things like make a resume, look up the jobs you could do with this internship field. That's a little bit depressing sometimes because then you look up a whole bunch of jobs for nannies sometimes and you're like, oh, okay. Because that was some of the like the parallels that it was asking me to look at. And it has a little bit more in-person hours. I don't have like the screenshots of the hours like that, but it had you would have to spend a little bit more time in person at your internship site for the same credit. And there's no real reflective assignments. It's more of like, hey, you were there, you did the job, you did the thing. And so you can make more out of it too if you were with a supervisor like Maria, who wants to help you like with research goals or with like clinical practice. And then basically my conclusion with that was that music is a natural interest to children and an effective research-based early intervention tool that helps children to develop better coping skills, boost mood, process routines and events, and foster social emotional skills. There's so many songs I want to like add to my repertoire. Like if you are like in the early childhood space, I have so many people I follow on Instagram, and there's lots of people developing different coping songs, and music just has this amazing way of helping us to learn and sticks with us throughout our life, and has all the different like biobehavioral things it does to us as we practice that. So that's why I chose it. Does anyone have any questions about my internship or my experience at the SAMI Center? No? Anyone want to sing other songs? Okay. Yeah. No? Okay.
Do you have a closing song?
Do I have a closing song? Ooh, that's interesting. Actually, I don't have a closing song.
You need a closing song.
I need a closing song.
You could just go goodbye in the name.
Yeah.
And then we're happy you were here.
We're happy you were here. I think I probably didn't come up with a closing song because I would always dip out at lunch to go to class.
You were there at the end.
Yeah, I wasn't there at the end. I should come up with a closing song.
Yeah, you need a closing song. I feel like
Yeah, because we have
a
our
transition
routines.
time, right? Kids need that.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. If you don't have any questions,